I forgive those police officers that brutally bashed me. That's what I choose, and I choose love.
Kian, who works here in our show, he's a man of colour as well. He's got plenty to say.
My heart's pounding right now because I feel like this is a very important topic to address, and I've never sort of been this vulnerable and open about any of this type of conversation. So
don't worry, brother. I
great.
cried the other day on television, so I know what it's like to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is, yeah.
But it needs to be spoken about.
It definitely does. So first off, I just think it's worth mentioning that 99% of the people involved in this movement are all about peacefulness.
Yep.
And they genuinely want to change.
Yes.
But the question is, what is that change? Of course, we can implement, classes in schools, or we can have conversations with our kids. We can run events with the youth, etc. But I kind of feel, and I like to think that we've been doing that. But I just don't think that that's what's working. I don't have the answers to exactly how to fix a situation, but I do have a couple of suggestions on the mindset that we can adopt going into this. Right now, the world is sort of struggling through a painful situation that I think we can launch off this, a shift in the way that we view things and approach this. But I feel like that worldwide change needs to come from an individual change. So to keep it plain and simple,
yes.
I think the first step would be to be aware of our ego. Understanding that our ego is the part of us that generates the greed, that makes us judgmental. It gives us a false sense of entitlement, and I do believe that that's what racism is, right?
Yeah.
To think that you are
Yes.
more entitled than
the
another
next
person
man.
of color. So I think it's important we pay attention to when those things are arising inside of us, and to immediately, as you pay attention, it's automatically putting a stop to any behavior that continues after that. Secondly, we all live our lives through different perspectives. I mean, Kyle, the way you see things, Jackie, the way you see things, Bridget, and Rodney, we all see things differently to the way I see things. But I think what we do share is the fact that whatever we do see is a reflection of ourselves.
Yes.
Wow, yeah,
So
true.
it's just like saying that the world is one giant mirror. Do you know what I mean? So why would we judge a fellow brother or sister when really you're just judging yourself?
Yeah.
And that's something I think is very important to touch on as well, because you give what you get, yeah?
That's so true, man.
Yeah. As a victim of racism, police brutality, I mean, I've definitely been put in hospital for 2 nights after an altercation with the police where I was bashed, injured, dropped off at a medical center, no paperwork, and I couldn't walk for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
So definitely being a part of this and having to go through that was a massive hurdle to get over. But I think that right now, and anyone that's gone through any oppression, it's an opportunity for us to heal, to transform, and to make a difference. And I think that will lead to the strength and courage to love. And the strongest person in the room, which this is so true, and I truly believe this, the strongest person in the room is a person that can love no matter how much pain comes with that love.
That's right.
But we as our entire race right now, we're at the most important time in our history. We get to decide whether we choose to move forward with hatred and violence or with peace and love. So
On with the peace.
So I urge all our leaders, our bosses, our Joe Blows, our Instagram models to embrace this movement towards a truly equal world. And the way to do that, and this is the hardest part, is forgiveness. How do we forgive though? How do we forgive a man that murdered someone in broad daylight? How do we forgive the people that raped our great grandmothers? They stole them, they murdered them. How do we forgive that? That's the question. But I think eventually we will.
But through love, I think,
I think
what
through
you
love.
said.
I think eventually we will. But
Yeah, it can hurt. You can forgive. You don't have to forget.
You don't never forget.
And this is the point it comes to, is that the pain will always be there, but the pain will remind us of how far we've come when this is done and when we do move forward with peace and love. So I just want to put it out there as a challenge to our world leaders and a challenge to ScoMo. How did you address coronavirus? Because really racism is a virus that's been here for millennia. You created a plan. You executed, you gathered your experts, you executed that plan, and look at how healthy and safe our country is. We lead the world with health and safety because of the plan that our political leaders put in place. Why is that not happening right now with racism? Because that virus is what affects us spiritually and mentally, therefore physically too. So I think that what we need to do is put together a group of experts, including youths from all different types of races, that can help decide the world we want to live in.
If only we could do that. I think you're 100% right.
Everyone walks into their workplace now, and what do you see? 1.5 meters distance. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Sanitize. Why don't we see this is how you can beat racism?
Speak
This is
to
how
your
you can show
coworker.
love.
Yeah.
Why don't we have
Amazing.
that? At the end of the day, I choose to forgive. I forgive those police officers that brutally bashed me. I forgive the people that have been racist to me in my past. I'm just putting it out there that I want to put my first foot forward and say that that's what I choose, and I choose love.
Train the brain to
Unbelievable. I'm going to give it a round of
Train the
applause.
brain
That was
to maintain.
unbelievable.
That
Thank
was
you,
awesome.
Kian. Thank you,
I
He's the last
Rodney.
man standing.
Wow.
Thank you, Bridget and Rodney O.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And Kian, that was amazing.
Thank you.
you, guys.
Thank you.
The Kyle and Jackie O Show.